Okay. All right, we got Don Carter training in the building, guys. It's pretty serious. It's
serious, huh? Serious.
It's very serious. And
Thank you.
I'm glad you take the time to go ahead and jump on here. Because again, for those that are watching this, the voice production is a representation of the voices of people that are actively productive in the things that they do and the things that they're navigating through. And full disclaimer, we don't have the answers. We just got perspectives at the end of the day. So this is what this is what this is built for, and to help those that might consume it figure out, what decisions that you have to make to go from point A to point B through our experiences and our perspectives. And DC, I think you're one of those individuals I wanted to talk to.
Thank you.
As far as having on the pod, and I want to overall give you light and overall finally have a conversation. We've never had a conversation. We've known each other maybe for a few years, and we've always passed by, doing the typical due diligence, what's up? Right. Yeah. So Don Carter training. You said, so how long have you been a trainer? Let's start there, and then let's transition to, maybe that defining moment of, what made you get into it? Because I know you say you've been in the gym, you've been out to at least 14 different gyms, but you've recently found home. But before we jump into that current, expansion as far as 2023, let's jump on the leading point up into it. So
okay.
let's start with how long, and then, what made you make that decision to go ahead and jump into personal training?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, dog.
Of course.
I appreciate you. I'm trying not to hit anything.
No, you're good.
But yeah, how long have I been training? 6-7 years. So green in the fitness industry.
New to it.
Yeah, still new to it. But yeah, worked in a lot of places. Only child, raised by a single mother. She's a small business owner. We take a lot of pride in work and the hustle and bustle and, setting goals, production, being productive.
Right.
You feel me? Former football player. So that's a very militant, productive sport or task, I would have to say. North Dakota State. Yes, sir. North Dakota State.
Most definitely.
Yes. But yeah, originally from Maryland. I've been living out here in Arizona for about 5 years. Like I said, found home with Made to Move Performance. We're located up in North Scottsdale, right across from TPC. Yeah, man. I'm not really the biggest person to talk about myself. You know what I mean?
I know it's kind of weird. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But I guess I'm just grateful for where I've been. You know what I mean? My journey. I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of places, meet some great people like you, Sean, my homie Sean.
Hey, we only associate with Sean's.
Right. Can I curse on here or no? Can I curse on here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fuck everybody else. Fuck everybody else. But yeah, I'm just really grateful, and yeah, I have a lot of gratitude for where I've been and where I want to go and the people that I'm around.
And that's exactly why. That's the energy that's radiating. That's always I've always felt as far as as far as having you around. You've always had your head down and making things happen, and you're not necessarily. Yeah, of course. You're not the person to, necessarily buff your chest out. Nothing wrong with doing it. There's time and place to do it, but you're more so worried about the day-to-day as far as getting it done, as 100%. Far as point A to point B, and that's nothing wrong with that as well.
100%. I appreciate you noticing that.
Of course.
Let me take notice.
Of course.
Real recognize real.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Hey, exactly why we're here. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. It's all about mirrors. That's why 100%. More and more I do these podcasts. It's like, wow, okay. It gives me more accountability to, I guess, be more conscious and just be more of a better individual of, attracting of what I'm looking to acquire. And a lot of people don't necessarily have that. And so that's where these stories come in of just where we've come from and how we've come from point A to point B, working all the way to Z in terms of these books that we're writing and currently writing. We've got control. We've got the pen.
Right.
And we can go ahead and do that. What was the decision? Do you remember the time and place as far as what was the transition like as far as 6-7 years ago when you were about to train and you started training? What made you get into it? Do you remember that time? Is it
yeah, 100%. Yes, 100%. I remember. Every football player, they have the mentality that they're going to play at the highest level, which they should. Yeah, 100%, which they should. Yeah, keep drinking the Kool-Aid and buy in. You have to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, once my football career ended, I played at a very high level, met some really cool people. I was like, you know what am I going to do next? You feel me? I actually asked myself, or maybe it was actually one of my good friends, Christian Johnson. He's out in San Diego. But yeah, we were sitting there talking like, what's next? Like who do we see around us that like we want to emulate or like we want to do what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? At that certain situation, like we didn't feel the best. We didn't feel the most comfortable. You know what I mean? We had a plan and we failed. So yeah, we're sitting around, we're thinking, going through old years, current moments, just thinking. Right. Exactly, reminiscing. I like that word. Thank you. And yeah, I looked at my strength coach. I'm like, you know what? I think I can be him. Like, it's cool. Wear sweatpants every day. Get to wear sneakers. You're in the weight room. I'm not an office job type of person.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like to keep moving.
Right.
I'm on the go. But yeah, I was like, okay, I think this is something that can happen. I reached out to him, went to his office. He put me on game and taught me about like surface level features of the strength conditioning industry. So yeah, that day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be in the weight room. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be a strength coach. I will be a strength coach.
Sensational.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a, like, it's been what, 6 years, 7 years in the making, fast forward to now, like, is there, like, how do people find you? And, you know, how do people find you? And like, what are people goals typically looking like as far as like if they want to train with, you know, DC? Like, is it more so like I'm just trying to, you know, am I just trying to go pro, or is it, you know, I just want to have somebody hold me accountable? Is there a certain avatar? You're more so like, what's the mindset? I should say, what's the mindset of somebody that should be they should have as far as they want to work with, you know, a professional like yourself? Because you work with right now you work with a lot of professional individuals. So like, what's the scale look like in terms of who you work with and somebody that might want to work with you to help better themselves in their journey? What's the mindset like?
I like that. What's the mindset? That's a good word. What's the mindset? But I would say most people find me through like word of mouth, referrals. Instagram's a really big one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Instagram's a big source for me for acquisition. And what else? I'm trying to think of these questions that you asked me. The mindset, yes. Leadership mindset. Leadership mindset. That's what it is. And some people know that they have it. Some maybe are not aware. Some don't know that it's even like possible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I think it's there. It's hidden in everybody. Everyone is a leader.
Right.
At certain moments in the day, certain moments in the year. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's always watching. Is like the mentality. Like that's really good. I'm glad you said that, because like a lot of people don't necessarily know that. Like a lot of people don't or take the responsibility of, you know, being a leader. Like, wow, I'm not a leader. But nowadays you're on camera, you know, at some point or degree, people see us as some type of leader because we were taking the time to speak on camera and share a perspective. They're like, wow, okay. He took the simple perspective or the simple act to jump on camera, which isn't necessarily easy for everybody. But like everything you do, I forgot who I heard say, but someone said like operate in everything that you do and how you move every day, even when people aren't watching, as if somebody is watching.
Right, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And it's even come down to like leading ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to see a lot of different types of people all day. Very diverse portfolio of clients. Maybe that's the right words.
Yeah. It's your words. It's my words. It's not about the right word. It's your words.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of my maybe like strong flaws. I always try to do the right thing, but like my definition of right is flawed.
Hey, that makes you human.
Exactly.
You're looking to always adjust it. That's the difference.
Exactly. But yeah, I think it's not weird, or everyone goes through moments and like goes through their habits. You know what I'm saying? So at times we're just doing things just unconsciously, we're just going for the flow. You know what I'm saying? It just feels right. It feels easy. It feels very comfortable. But it takes a leader to have to step into an uncomfortable area or a place, not only for yourself or for others, but most importantly for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like,
agreed.
I do this every morning. I hit my alarm. I hit my snooze every morning. You know what I'm saying? But like right there, majority of people do hit their snooze in the morning. But like right there is a perfect moment for people to be a leader for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Lead yourself and try not to allow the option of a snooze button to play or dictate your next action or decision.
Straight
you know
bar.
what I'm saying?
No, that's the whole. I just heard the like. I'm seeing the Instagram clip, that little snippet right there.
I like that.
That's insightful. That's insightful.
That's dope.
A lot of people don't necessarily do that. And again, that's why this is, again, I'm glad you're taking the time to do it. Because again, I didn't necessarily know. I felt it. Again, we knowing each other, we cross paths, but a lot of people need to hear it. Because a lot of people like to, I was posted a clip of what Gary Vee said earlier this morning, but like social media gives people the ability to run away from accountability. And they don't necessarily, because it gives them the ability to point like, oh, Sean's got this shirt on, or oh, this could have did this, or why would you support that? So it gives people opportunity to run away from, well, I hit the snooze button 14 times, but like DC and Sean said something I didn't like, so that's where I'm gonna put my energy at. Versus, I'm gonna only hit the snooze once, and then I'm gonna get up, and then I'm gonna put water on my face, and then I'm gonna.
It's tough though. It's really tough.
It is.
I do it every morning. I'm not even gonna lie. I do it every morning. I'm getting better at it. I think now I'm down to like 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. I hit it. I'm like, all right, man.
But you're at least conscious of it. That's the thing. You're at least like, all right, I hit the snooze button once. Like most people don't even necessarily know to address or to start with, all right, I need to get down to 1 snooze, or I need to get down to where I'm not even relying on a snooze. Like you're at least conscious of that, because like, again, we all got problems. Just more so, are you aware of these problems that need to be addressed, or there's ways to address it, or are you folding in? Are you throwing in the towel? Yeah. So
I guess I would like to maybe add to my answer. So like, what's the mindset? An authentic mindset. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I think that's where you can build your true authenticity. You feel me?
So that's like the common denominator you see with people, like even right now that you're working with.
Well, I guess just our relationship.
Yeah.
Can be authentic, or has the potential to be authentic. Doesn't have to be right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Life happens.
Right.
But that's the mindset that I look for. The opportunity for authenticity.
Right.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
So right now you're at Made to Move. It's in North Scottsdale, right?
Yeah.
So I remember you guys opened that up. Has it been a year?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. 1 year. 1 year next week.
Got you. So what's that process look like since then? Because like I said, another thing I guess to tie on together with the whole social media side of things, but what does that growth look like, and how's that process been as far as like going from the doors opening to now? Because I've seen you guys doing a lot of, like, you guys are getting it in, whether it be with, you're having your group sessions at least a couple times a week.
Thank you.
To, people, like I said, where DC is, people go. And that's the thing. That's a representation. And that's the thing a lot of people need. It's just that authenticity and just that transparency. Like people wouldn't go if they didn't feel those things weren't existent. So like people need to understand it. Maybe they're in their journey where they're trying to figure out how to be their authentic self.
We're still working on ours. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, it's not. But it's at least on display. I'm not. It's no end result. We're always loaded. I never want to be fully loaded. I want to always. Progression is always the obsession. It's always something to go ahead and chip away.
I actually just had a conversation with one of our teammates, and we were talking about like our plan for our social media page, for the Made to Move performance page, and like how does it look now. Pretty much just like assessing and trying to correct it. But yeah, you used the perfect words. You know what I mean? There's levels to it. There's progress. There's progressions. And yeah, just trying to be authentic as possible is going to speak volumes. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for noticing us. Appreciate it.
Of course. How many people would you say you like work with? Excuse me. Would you work with on a monthly? Would you say, like, is it like an influx? Depending on like what time of season?
We're definitely seasonal. The fitness industry is for sure seasonal. Okay. But we're blessed to be in Scottsdale, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. So it seems like everybody's working out every day. You know what I mean? Fitness is always on everybody's mind. Some type of movement is on everybody's mind.
Made to move.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. Yes. Definitely. And we're like changing I think we're trying. I think we are trying to change.
Process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We're in the process of changing, how the fitness community sees fitness. You know what I mean? Their traditional fitness on how to be healthy and have like wellness. It's about movement, not really about lifting weights, strength and conditioning, cardio. You know what I'm saying? It's just movement. I think that's the best way to encapsulate everything, encompass everything.
Now, going on to that point, like on that perspective, what perception, as you being in the the fitness industry, what are you seeing? What perceptions are you wanna rewrite? Would you say? Like, I'm sure there's things that stick out in terms of just what's out there, and then what you want to rewrite out there based off through Made to Move.
That's a good question. I like that. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that.
Hey, that's why I wanted to have you. I got questions. I wanted to get it on camera and add some value, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good question. My first my first discrepancy that I want to jump to, I think I still have to find more words for it, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger model, you know what I mean? He is the greatest bodybuilder ever. He has the
proportion.
Yes, his physique is phenomenal. Everybody, male and female, male and woman, they want to have those type of ratios. You know what I'm saying? That's not the model anymore. You get what I'm saying? So like the way that he lifted was for him, and it worked best for his mental and physical state. But that's not the way that people should do it nowadays. So I'm talking about like the chest on Mondays and like the legs Tuesdays, you know what I mean? The back buys type days. Arnold brought that to America, and that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? He's a great lifter. He has the ideal physique, but that's not the proper way to go about getting the results that most people want.
Right.
You know
So you're expanding the encyclopedia. I can't even talk. The dictionary of how people can train, especially when it comes to Taylor, because I'm a big, like, I've always been in the realm of working out. And my dad, he introduced me to, you know, the bodybuilding. Like he would have magazines stacked at his house from Ronnie. All the bodybuilders in there. He the one that like introduced me to it. But since then, like I see that everything is tailored to the individual. Like it's not necessarily one size fit all, but that's what no one necessarily evolves their training ever. Like I'm big on evolving my training, especially now, you know, as we move more chapters in life. Like I always talk about Squat University. I don't know if you follow them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yes.
Him or Ben, knees over toes.
Yes. Yep.
Like I'm always that's been a big part of my ritual over the past year, or a part of my religion, to really have a strong foundation. But it's not necessarily one exercise. Like people always revert to one exercise or one movement to get set goal, when it's a complement of many things, especially depending on what you're trying to do. I'm sure you can speak deep on that.
Yes, 100%. And that's where I'm trying to get to. It's just about movement and how you want to categorize them, organize them, and put them in certain places. That's up to you and up to your goals. But the main goal and the main focus is movement. We should be moving. Move more. We're made to move.
So let's just say I don't know, I have been on the couch for, I don't know, quite some time. You know, I had an injury, and I want to, I don't know, I speak to an avatar, and I want to be able to bench a certain type of weight, or at least lift the box over my head, or be able to, like, I don't know, be with my family, you know, on a regular basis outdoors, more active. Like, what would you say to that avatar that said that's me, like, coming to? Like, if I'm consulting with DC, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. Like, what's your first thought process from a professional standpoint for somebody that might be in like a predicament like that, or similar to that?
Yeah, my first thought process is, when was the last time they trained? When was the last time they had an intense workout or an intense day of moving, or they felt an immense amount of pain? So when was the last day they felt pain? It could be that day, that morning, maybe currently. And then when was the last day that they trained or had a strenuous workout? Those are my first two questions. After that, depending on the answer, I would go to a couple tools here and there. But I like the bike, I like the Aerodyne assault bike. Put them on there. It fits for everybody, ages from 7 years old all the way up to 80, 90 years old. One of our members, I believe, is 82. Yeah, he rides it. Yeah, easy. No matter the pain, back, hips, knees, it's even ankles, it usually works. You know what I'm saying? They can get some type of sweat or movement in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those first two questions answered, hopping on the bike, and just going through a dynamic warm-up. You know what I mean? You can Google any type of dynamic warm-up, high kicks, Frankenstein kicks. You're
not gonna charge me for the warm-up, bro?
No, not at all. No, you're good, bro. You're good. But yeah, a warm-up and finding out more about their history, their training history, their physical health history, from their perspective, not from a doctor's perspective. That's kind of like...
That's another interesting conversation we can dive into.
It is. yeah. Just lost my train of thought.
No, it's good, bro. Like I said, we're just flowing and going. No, you just my thought went to, and you said a whole doctor scenario. And again,
we can go down that rabbit hole for sure.
Yeah, we don't have answers. It's just perspective, like thinking about it, like objectively. We've all had trial and tribulations in our life for people we know, especially when it comes to their health. And so if you're gonna have a doctor, objectively thinking about it as time goes on, you would think that should be some type of like standard for them to always be moving. And to some degree, or at least have some type of reflection of it. Not necessarily the Schwarzenegger build. It doesn't have to necessarily look like that. Yes. But that should present in some fashion based off of what they do, like how they're presenting they shouldn't just be presenting information. They should be living by the information to a degree. Right. Like, what's your thought process on that?
I'm not the biggest fan of doctors, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's movement. I'm trying to find my words and trying to, like, I guess, speak the right way strategically.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? Like I said,
worst
I'm not the biggest fan of doctors. Yeah. I don't think they're not out here for your best interest. You know what I'm saying?
There's definitely a motive to a degree, whether that be at the highest or the lowest, depending on who you talk to.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I believe I can cure most of the physical musculature issues that anyone can have, or deficiencies. I believe that our methods at our gym could be used more frequently and more frequently than a chiropractor.
Right.
Yes.
So you don't have to necessarily name names at this point, but if you had to give like an example, like I'm sure you've had somebody sit down like, hey, DC.
I guess what makes me hesitant is that the human body's like always changing. It's always adaptive.
It's always evolving.
You know what I'm saying? So nobody's really wrong, but not everybody's right. So I don't want to come off as if I'm right.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
You're not necessarily right, and I'll preface this to I know we can say that you're speaking from a case by case basis or an individual basis, because again, this is why I want to have you on and have a conversation about it, because I'm sure you've talked to 15 people, and based off of those cases, you've had maybe 5 on average categorize themselves in 5 different categories, or 5, 10, 15, 3 different categories. They're not necessarily all the same, but they're not necessarily all indifferent, because a lot of people have common denominators as far as in terms of what group that they fall into. Does that mean that's for everybody? No, necessarily. That's not what this is. Again, we're talking from perspective.
Right.
And, what you might be dealing with isn't necessarily, the right, it might be the right answer for somebody. It doesn't mean it's the universal right answer.
So so far what I've seen, the common denominators would be, the simplest way I could put is maybe they have played high school sports or they haven't played high school sports. I think that weighs heavy on our bodies. Playing high school sports is a benefit. I think everyone should be playing, moving.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? The training age of a person that has not played a high school sport, or maybe was not as physically demanded on their body, their training age is pretty young. You know what I'm saying? I would say that's probably one common denominator. Sedentary lifestyle or like an active lifestyle. If someone's standing on their feet about 7, 8 hours out the day, or someone's sitting on their butt 8, 9 hours out the day.
Yeah, let's talk about that avatars, because that's a big thing, especially nowadays. I specifically talk to the people that have a job where it requires them to. Let's talk about the one that's maybe on their feet, or let's begin with the individuals that might be sitting all day. Like, what's the typical? What would be the regimen for somebody that wants to be optimal, especially with COVID, or whatever happened back in the day, with the shots, for content purposes. That put a lot of people behind their sitting down at home in their seats. Like, what would be some day-to-day habits for somebody that you would recommend for someone that may be sitting predominantly most of the time? Like, what's some, like, whether it be, because I know, like, one aspect that comes to mind, like, I know that they say you're typically supposed to eat and then you want to walk around at least 10, 15 minutes objectively in terms of just letting the food digest as opposed to eating and sitting. Like maybe like some practical things of somebody that might be sitting as opposed to standing.
Yeah, I would just start out with just moving, walking, maybe a lunch break early in the morning or after work, walk around the neighborhood, walk around the house, walk around your living room. Try and find something that's measurable. That's really about it. Excuse me. Once we can use something that's measurable, then we can make that a consistent habit. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's all about whatever. It's all about whatever you can find to help them gauge.
Just get to the next step.
Okay.
Just get to the next step. I know how hard or how difficult food can be for some people. Eating a lot, not eating enough. So I would, yeah. I remember that. I remember our conversations about that. Yeah. Did you ever look into 531 by Jim Wendler? I think we had a conversation about that. Maybe.
I remember we had a convo.
Yeah.
I think you sent me something.
I mean, you blew the deadlift out the water. So.
Yeah, I got one more comp. I got one more comp in April 22nd. So, okay. But I think you did. You sent me the video. Yeah. I watched it. Yeah. I watched it. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, sedentary lifestyle. Just start moving. Walk around the living room, the house, the neighborhood. Try and do that at some point throughout the day, at least one time. Once you get that consistently, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, let's just move that up to 2 times. You know what I mean? Or make the measurable unit just a little bit bigger.
What would you say? What story? Like I'm sure there's some stories that stick out to you where that just reminds you of why you train. Like what are some individual stories that resonate with you that makes Don Carter training go every day? Like wow, okay. Like maybe it's something recent. Maybe it was when you first started. It could be at the highest level. It could be at the most average level. In general, like anything that comes to mind, any story that comes to mind that really resonates with you to really, I don't know, just keep pushing the boundary and just keep training because like you're showing people what can be done. Anything like that comes to mind?
Just seeing the joy that people get from something that I love too. Like I love the weight room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love tough situations. You know what I'm saying? This is a tough situation. So
it's different. It's definitely different.
For sure. This is not my everyday.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing the joy that people have from something that I love and something that's seriously going to benefit them, that can change their life, alter their life. And then, I guess recently just learning more about the body and then helping them with their pain. There's a couple strategies to give like instant pain relief. It has to have, we need to have a willing and just confident person, coach and trainee. That's what it is. But yeah, there's a couple strategies to have pain-free. So I guess that's one of them. Just realizing that someone comes in at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, I can make them feel better. You know what I mean? Have made them feel better. It's like, damn, my legs feel good. You know what I mean? My back feels a lot better. My shoulders feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, just seeing that joy. I've never been injured, never had surgery. So like I guess I maybe take pride within myself of not really having to deal with pain. You know what I'm saying? I hate being sore, but I've also been blessed to look the way I am and like be sore, but also not be sore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, just seeing the joy and seeing the passion that other people have when they're in the gym. I guess I also have to add the community. You know what I mean? I'm an only child, so everyone that I surround myself with, like that's my family. You know what I mean? I take pride in those people, and like I want to be around those people for a reason. I want them to be around me for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And like move with a purpose and have passion.
Now, it seems like you bring a lot of energy. Like again, what would you, speaking to somebody that might be listening to this, that might be in the valley, like what's the environment like? Working in one of your group sessions, like what's that like? What is somebody? Is it something for everybody? Like in terms of like
for
the
sure.
group sessions,
something for everybody.
Yeah,
for sure, 100%. I grew up in the football world, so I like stepping out of that and just training weekend warriors, everyday Jane and Joes. It's for everybody. My youngest client is 7 years old. Our oldest member is 82. So yeah, everybody. Our group sessions are a little bit intimate. Probably no more than
tailored.
Yes, very tailored.
Okay.
No more than 5 to 7 people. Each movement will be catered towards you. All of our coaches on staff are skilled enough to progress and regress movements to each individual. So yeah, very tailored, specialized, focused on you, your goals, your growth, your deficiencies, and how to make you better.
So your 82-year-old client, if you can, like you let me know if you can speak on it or not. So just to kind of speak to that avatar, let's just say somebody like she just wanted is it a married woman?
Woman.
So the woman. So she came to you. She wanted to improve her health? Like, where is she at in terms of her health? Like speaking to maybe that's somebody that's 82 and they, I like to say a lot of people have the I'm finished mentality. Like I always tell, there's certain people, I'm like, stop talking like you finished. Like Sean just said, like he was saying, like I just had this conversation, with his relative, like stop. Like don't stop putting this limiting belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna take that from you. Stop talking like you're finished.
That's what I'm saying. Cause like meanwhile you have 82-year-olds. Like I've walked up in the gym sometimes where I'm like, what's your name? I forgot her name, but older woman. I'm like, how old? I'm like you're a voice of production. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People need to see this because people like to write things off based off of how their mentality is wired. Yeah. Like, well, to the 82-year-old, has she seen like major progression as far as where she was? Like, is there any? It was just more so wanting to stay healthy, or is it more so that she had anything that she had to deal with, or?
I mean, we're moving to live life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if we want to keep living, we have to keep moving.
Yeah.
The moment we stop moving, we die.
Got you. So it's not like an end goal. That's the
yes.
Because that's another thing. That's another thing. That's like an idea. I feel like, at least in my head, people look to fitness as almost it's a course and it's done. When it's like you said, it's a lifestyle to a degree. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be deadlifting, a bunch of weight, but it's more so you need to be constantly made to move,
right? As
opposed to lifting weights. Like that's not the stigma. It's more so to keep moving. Like it's not an end destination. You just have to always have it in your life, like you were to have salad in your life.
Right. That's the going back to the question. What's the mindset?
Yeah.
That's the mindset that I try to instill in like my clients.
Yeah.
That's the consistency. Just be consistent. Going to the gym can be that measurable unit. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to get detailed past that.
Right.
Come to the gym, show up, start moving around. Once we can get you doing that, 60, 90, 120 days, now we can get into a flow. We can get to like more details. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think a lot of us, I do it too. We try to get too detailed with our goals. Try to get too detailed with what is the next step. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Try the simplest, easiest path to get to that next one.
That's definitely. Have you heard anything? I'm sure you've heard it in terms of what are your clients telling you that they work with other organizations or individuals that they say you do differently, that a lot of let's say people that train might do, that they're like, wow, do you see this is different? What would you say to some of those tangibles?
I'll probably say feedback.
Feedback? Okay.
Yes. I think I give good feedback.
Okay.
Yes, I believe I give good feedback. Give them good feedback on the movement, how they're feeling, what they should expect to feel.
So a lot of people are passive, would you say? Or
what's that?
Would you say there's a lot of people that are passive in terms of I'm sure there's people that do things.
Oh yeah, the weight room's intimidating.
Yeah.
The gym's intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone's passive at any form. You know what I'm saying? Any way we want to put it. I mean, I worked out today, but I was passive. It was not a strong workout. Not a strong workout. But I was there. I showed up. I did some type of movement. I got it in. You know what I'm saying? I can confidently say I worked out today. And that's where it needs to start.
Right.
Did you work out today? Did you move today?
It's a compound is what's most important.
Exactly.
Not did you get 70-pound dumbbells for 10 one time last week?
No, I did not. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's definitely. Who are some people that you look up to, like in terms of your compass, in terms of even in your day to day? It could be fitness, it could be just in general, just to overall be moving in your life overall. Is there anybody that DC looks up to help you move your compass as far as like?
100%. Yeah, my mom for sure. My mom. I'm only child, like I said.
Yeah.
We talk a lot. She blows my phone up all day, every day.
You better call me.
Exactly right. Yeah. And she's young. We have a really strong, close relationship. Sometimes we butt heads, but it's all love. You know what I mean? That's my rock. I'm her rock. But yeah, definitely my mom. Definitely growing up, watching her work, watching her trying to becoming the leader of our family. You know what I mean? Her sisters, her brothers, her parents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just her, for sure. Her. She's definitely like the highest of the high. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah. At times I could hate her. I could not like her at all, but like I aspire to be her. You know what I'm saying? Like I would die to be anywhere close to where she's at. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. You got a healthy relationship with your mom, and a healthy relationship that includes disagreeing sometimes. So
100%.
We're not, we're not meant to be mirrors 100% of the time. There's similarities you might see in our family, our friends, but that's what makes us dynamic.
Yeah, we're exactly the same, but the total opposite at the same time. You know,
that's the polar opposites are coming out. So
yeah, exactly.
So you did exactly what I did. I don't even want to talk about it. So
exactly.
So what are you eyeballing as 2023 unravels? It's crazy to think about. It's already it's about to be April. Life need to chill out. What are you looking to close into? Like, I know you say you don't actually get too detailed on goals, but like how do you assess like your goals? Like I say 2023, are you like quarterly in terms of like, all right, I'm knocking things out in a 90-day span, or do you have micro goals as well as macro goals?
Yeah,
like
micro and macro for sure.
Yeah.
I try to assess on the nightly ritual.
Right.
Probably hitting like 3, 4, 5 times a week. Excuse me. But I have a nightly journal asking me about, I think, 5 to 7 questions. So I just, fill out those questions. How could my day could have been better? What could I have done to make my day better? How could my day have been better? What's something that I could have moved differently on? What else? Assessing my connection, my communication with people. But I try to assess, I guess, personal development as much as possible. But daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, yearly goals, for sure.
Sensational.
For sure.
And then lastly, where are you looking for? Like, what do you see made to move as 2023 comes to its second quarter? What Q1 is about to be over, right. So Q2. So anything in particular you see that? What's the vision for that, or is it just to continue to stack on? Like what anything in particular you got down goal wise that you want the world to know, or anyone that might be looking to join in the made to move movement?
Made to move movement, I like that. Yes, 100%. Made to Move, we're looking to continue to build our community and our coaches, just build up our coaches. We're a premier fitness studio. We're looking for coaches that want to learn how to grow, you know what I mean? Build their business, build themselves, and learn how to build up other people, you know what I mean? Build our coaches, build our community, and just reach out into the community, just keep being around the right people, you know what I mean?
100%.
Bringing the right people together.
Most definitely. And then where can they find, where can they see, get a sneak peek of Made to Move?
Oh yeah, Made to Move Performance, M2M_performance, at Instagram, YouTube. You can find me at Don Carter Training. I mean, that's really about it. Check me out on there.
Sensational. Anything else you want to give to people? Anything else on your mind?
No, man, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? This is outside of my comfort zone. I'm a little reserved, you know what I mean? My coaching style is a little bit laid back. But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate this. I love that this was our first conversation. I love that, we're definitely on the same wavelength.
Hey, we're all here to push people. That you're here to push people with the body, and I'm here to force everybody on camera. Everybody hates it, so I'm like, get on camera because it's gonna be a stamp. But no, I appreciate you for jumping on, bro. Most definitely. All right, until next time, again, Voices of Production, welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your oxygen is the comments to what's going on, positive, negative. And so stay tuned as we go ahead and reveal the Voices of Production. Let's go.